In the beginning, an Israel elite named Leah comes over to the Americas from the Middle East and then dies. His descendants divide into two tribes called the Nephites and the Lamanites. The Nephites, they were originally more religious and more prosperous, but they corrupted in time. The other ones, the Els, were nomadic and are considered the descendants of Native Americans. These two were caught in centuries of warfare and they didn't really like each other. Fast forward a few centuries, Jesus Christ had been crucified and now he appears in Nephites and preaches to them. This event causes a period of harmony between them and the Els, but this only lasted about 200 years. Then they started fighting again. Later on in 385 AD, this Nephite named Mormon is writing a book, and it's a story of his people. On the eve of the climactic battle with the Lamanites, Mormon turns over the core of the Book of Mormon, inscribed on golden plates. It's very fancy. He then gives it to his son, Moran. Mormon then dies in the battle I mentioned earlier. The Nephites are nearly obliterated, but Moran survives for another 36 years and adds material to the book before sealing it in 485. Then this guy named Joseph Smith is 14 and doesn't know which church to join. So he goes into the forest and witnesses a pillar of light followed by an image of God in Jesus Christ, telling him not to join any of the current churches, and that all of them have strayed from the truth. When he tries to tell a local minister about his vision, he is scorned and doesn't give a detailed description of his vision until 1839. Then Joseph receives a vision from the angel Moron. Remember that guy from earlier? He tells Smith about the golden plates buried in a nearby hillside. He tells him that it's the story of the people who used to inhabit America and contains the fullness of the everlasting gospel. He doesn't take the gold plates until 4 years later because he was told not to, and he marries his wife in that 4-year gap. He gets an interpretation device to translate it and begins translating it after moving because they feared someone would steal it. Martin Harris, a farmer who helped the Smiths move, helped transcribe it, but after the 116 pages of text, Harris takes it back to show his wife and loses the only copy in the process. However, Joseph gets the plates taken away, but gets them back a few months later. A young school teacher named Oliver Cowdery arrives at where the Smiths are staying and helps transcribe the plates. But this time doesn't get the plates taken away and actually transcribes the entire thing. He then receives a copyright for the Book of Mormon and 5,000 copies are printed. During the time when Cowdery and Smith were transcribing the plates, John the Baptist appears and says that Smith will be the first ever elder of the church and Cowdery the second. Then they are both baptized. A few other things happen, but it's a bit boring to read out loud. So in short, the Book of Mormon is published, Smith becomes the first prophet, the Mormons move west to Kirkland, Smith announces some revelations, a temple starts construction, and Smith's revelations are published in a book. In 1838, January 12th, Smith escapes Kirkland and heads for Missouri, arriving there with his family in March. Many of the Mormons follow, and soon there are thousands of church members in the settlement of Far West in Caldwell Country. Smith then makes plans for a new temple, but ex-community's old friends and current advisories, including Cowdery, who has turned against him, accusing him of adultery. But peace with neighboring non-Mormons proves elusive. Skipping ahead to 1939, led by Brigham Young, the Missouri Mormons reach safety in Illinois, where they are welcomed by a sympathetic population. Skipping all the way ahead to 2007, today there are 13 million members of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints worldwide, with more church members living outside the United States. The Community of Christ has more than 150,000 members, and there are several systematic groups who continue to call themselves Reorganized Latter-day Saints, who probably have another 100,000 members. In addition, a variety of Mormon fundamentalist groups continue to practice polygamy. The estimated number of fundamentalists is somewhere between 30,000 and 60,000. It's currently 2 a.m., about to be 3 a.m., so yeah, this is it. Bye.